Hello everybody, welcome and good evening to Front Row Racing's World Series Round 6 from the Monaco Grand Prix circuit. We've got about 5-6 minutes until we send the drivers over to the track. But joining myself in the commentary box is TempFear and Eraser21. I'm going to hand over to those two for a moment. So guys, what are we expecting from Monaco and the World Series drivers tonight?
Well, first of all, before we come on air, we had a little chat mentioning about there was no rain in any of the reserve races or last night. So, Eraser, do you think there'll be rain tonight?
Well, I have been doing some rain dances here, so we probably will, and I hope so. But the drivers won't hope that. I think so.
Well, I hope you have some security guards, 'cause I think they might all want to kill you after you've said that. But they're going to have to try and get around this track if it is raining. It's not going to be easy. May see a few more crashes than last night.
Yeah, I hope many drivers will be able to race to the end, but it's a difficult track, so I don't know how many will do that.
I thought you was going to say you hope most drivers crash out then.
Well, Tony just likes to make it difficult for them. Every time we've raced at Monaco, he's like, I want rain, I want rain, I want crashes.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to go into Tony's mindset. Okay. Obviously, I'm from Racing DP. I'll also be in the commentary box this evening. Before we do send the drivers over to the circuit, we're going to have a quick run through the teams, the previous race results, and the current standings. We'll try and do that as quickly as possible. Okay, so the teams that we've got today in the Front Row Racing World Series, we have Petrol Pumpers Mercedes of Hindle and Conzo, Old Crash Test Dummies Ferrari of Dave the Harp and Jason, Censored Williams of Hybrid Nuke and the reserve driver of Twist Royalty, New Age Outlaws Red Bull of Rickster and MX Everglow, Hey Ho Double Toe Force India of Farfba and RDB, Wrong Tyres Renault of Richie Davey and Andy Russell, but I believe neither of those drivers are available this evening. They're playing football in the middle of winter. $1 Million Herbie Toro Rosso, that's Millstar and Ant69. Then we've got the Mental Age of 10 McLaren team of Front Row Racing GP and the now confirmed permanent driver of DS Z-Man. Yank and Limey Manor, that's Mystic Joker and Lefty Hardtail. And Mystic Joker did get in touch with me after the last race to apologise for not attending. There was a little bit of a family emergency which took precedence. Okay, on to the previous race result, and that was obviously round 5 in Spain, where with Mystic Joker not racing, it meant that life was a little bit easier for Hindle, and he was able to take pole and the victory and the full 25 points. His teammate Conzo finished in second place, with Andy Russell finishing in third, his best ever Front Row Racing finishing position. In fourth place was the Censored Williams reserve driver of Twist Royalty, and in fifth place was the Mental Age of 10 reserve, which on that day was DSZ Man. In sixth was Ant69, a fantastic result for him, and in seventh was Richie Davey. Eighth place was Lefty Hardtail, ninth was Millstar, and in 10th was the New Age Outlaws reserve driver of Liliart, who finished in the final point scoring position. Dave Harp finished in 11th place, followed closely by Hybrid Nuke in 12th and Jason in 13th, with RDB, Rickster from a Racing GP, all with DNFs, Mystic Joker with a did not start, and unfortunately for Farfba, a DSQ. I'll hand over now to Temp Gauge, or somebody else has nicknamed him Template, for the Drivers' Championship standings, if you will.
Right, so with Mr. Joker not racing, Hindle has taken the lead on 94 points, and Mr. Joker has dropped second, 14 points behind on 80 points. Conzo holding it strong in third, 52 points, and then fourth is a fair way back from him as well on 36 points, which is Lefty Hardtail, so they're a bit spread out a bit there. And then he gets tight, so fifth, Andy Russell on 32, sixth, Hybrid on 30. The admin's pick rookie is 7th on 25. That was courtesy of Simo at China. Yes, it was.
Yep.
In 8th was Jason in the Ferrari, 24 points. Ninth is Ant having a good season so far. In Toro Rosso, 21 points. 10th, Richie Davey on 20 points. 11th, front row JS, but he's now left. So I don't know if DSE man will take his points or not, but
No,
he was on 19 points.
He won't take his points. DSE man will start his points on 0, but obviously the points that JS scored for the team still classify.
Yeah. So then 12th, front row Racing GP, who didn't have a very long race last week. It was quite funny, to be fair. He's only on 12 points. In 13th is Dave the Half on 10th. What are you about to say?
I'm just laughing at what you said then.
Well, you know, very interesting comments. We'll get on to those later. 13th, Dave the Half on 10 points. Then both four seniors with 14th, 15th, RDB and Farper with 6 and 4 points respectively. Rick Stan 16th with 2 points, with also Millstars in 16th and 2 points. Dennis Nightwalker with 1 point, but he is now no longer racing. And Hybrid Nuke hasn't chosen his teammate yet, I believe. And in last but not least is Mr. Everglow on 0 points. And constructors, I forgot about those. First, we have Petrol from Mercedes on 146, pulling out a bit of a lead. Second is the Manor of Yankin Limey. Third, Williams. Fourth, the Renault 52. Fifth, McLaren on 41. Sixth, Ferrari around 34. Admin Swift Rookie, the Haas on 25. $1 million Heavy Toro Rosso on 23 in eighth. Ninth, Heyho Double Tail Force India on 10 points. And again, last but not least, New Age Outlaws Red Bull on 3 points.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll send the drivers over to the circuit because I know Eraser is really desperate to see if we've got wet weather here in Monaco. A few of the drivers, I mean, I've asked a lot of the drivers a few questions today for their pre-race comments. There is a couple of them that I have asked about what happened, like if it's wet, are they going to be happy or not? We'll try and cover pre-race comments during qualifying or even the race. They're not always easy to get in though, with the amount of them that we have. But what we have got is a question of the day. And we won't give the answer out until the podium interviews as the drivers get ready for the Front Row Racing World Series Round 6 at Monaco. To quickly go through the tyres, we've got softer compound available with the Ultra Soft available here in Monaco. The balanced compound, which still allows the ultra soft, and the harder compound, which only allows the ultra soft in the race if you qualify on it and then choose to start on it. We could see that used quite a lot here today. One-stop strategies are available, two-stop strategies are available, but also
10 stops.
Yeah, I was going to 10 stops. It could be. I mean, there's always a possibility of losing wings or damage in this race. It's Monaco at the end of the day, which is no surprise either why perhaps some drivers are not overly keen about racing around this track, especially with the number of DNFs that there were in the World Championship race last night. However, we are going to come to the Monaco circuit and we are going to send the drivers around for a short qualifying session and then a 39-lap race. I tell you what, it's already raining. It's already raining. Tony's rain dance. Oh, you're so cruel. Oh, I tell you what, it's going to start wet. It's then potentially going to dry up. I tell you what, though, what's the circuit? Oh, the circuit is absolutely soaked out there. It's showing intermediate tyres at the moment, and I think really the drivers need to get out on those inters as soon as possible and keep it out of the barriers, because this is a really tricky situation, isn't it, guys? Because the drivers are going to want to see if it's going to dry up, but at the same time they can't afford to stay in the pits, because if it's going to get wetter, now could be the quickest point on the circuit, as Milstar looks like he's going to be the first out on track. But it's wet out there, which means if they go out on track and they bin it and they destroy their car, that's qualifying over for them. So it's a very, very tricky situation right now. Let's see, how's the track looking? Oh, it's looking very, very wet up the hill towards Casino Square. Milstar taking it very, very cautiously, and I am not surprised that he is either. Okay, while we keep an eye out for the first cars into the barriers, I am going to pose the question of the day. And I tell you what, Temp, you said that you've got a fun question of the day. Do you want to do yours first?
Well, the thing is though,
everyone can have a guess, but only one person knows the answer, and that's not me. Well, I do know, but...
Oh, not that again.
So, recently I've had this for the viewers, I'm sorry, he doesn't really regard you. But I've had a few people asking me, am I this, am I that? So, Dave, don't want you to say anything yet, but am me, myself, TempFear, an FRR admin?
Oh, good question. Good question. Okay.
I know a lot of people asking that.
I know the answer to that question. I will hold on to it. So, obviously, it's something you've been asked a lot. As Millstar's about to start his flying lap, have we got many other drivers out on track yet, guys?
11 drivers are out on track.
So, not really any of them wasting time then as Millstar heads down into turn 1. A very tricky corner in these conditions. Hard on the power. Looks like he may have a little bit of traction control on, which is allowed in the World Series. Let's see if he's much more confident into Casino. Oh, big amount of understeer on turn in. Yeah, he's keeping a wide. Oh, I was going to say he stayed away from the wall, but it meant he caught the wall on the exit. It's a 22.9 sector 1. So give us a shout out. Go on.
Well, I don't happen to know sector times, but I happen to know relative lap times in these conditions.
Go for it.
So we'll see. I think anything around a 25 is pretty good. I don't do much, but like I say, anything around that is a-okay. But Lefty Hardtail's only gone a tenth quicker than Millstars in the first sector, so he might actually be on a decent lap here unless everyone's just trying to find their feet, which is possible.
I mean, it is a situation where the first laps might not be very quick as Millstar again gets close up to the exit barrier. Yeah, I mean, the first laps I wouldn't expect to be particularly quick. But, I mean, this is a situation where with conditions like this, we could have a mixed-up grid, which at this circuit, we know what it can mean to be on the front row. So Millstar then, he's about to cross the line, and what's the time going to be? It's a 27, is it? It is, it's a 27.4. Rickster, he's... Okay, Rickster, he's out on track. See if I can catch someone else. Well, Konzo, he's about to start a flying lap. I tell you...
For the fastest first sector so far, 22.6, sorry.
Who was that, sorry?
Hybrid's done a 22.3 in the first, Hindle 22.4 in the first. Hindle's now just done a 40.4 in the middle, but he's hit the wall in the final sector. He hasn't got damage thrown to it, but he may have backed out.
Okay, we're on board with Hindle, so we will see how the end of his lap goes.
I think Hybrid's the man to watch at the moment. Still on good times.
Okay, well, Hindle's going to cross the line with a 25.9. So let's go on board with Hybrid Nuke. He's coming up to the line now, and it's a 25.7. Steals pole position. But I do also want to go and see...
Mystic Joker's just stole it off him, 25.5.
Ooh. Well, I did want to see, apologies for flicking through, I wanted to see how Konzo's going to get on. Because he has done Sector 1, and... I mean, he is a previous World Series champion. Okay, drivers that I asked about the wet weather was RDB. I asked him if it rains, would that help or hinder you? And he said if it's wet or changeable conditions, he'll be happy. But this is Monaco, where anything can happen. In practice, I've had punctures from slapping the rear off the barriers. Keeping my wing intact hasn't been a problem. Good luck to all the teams and drivers.
I'll just win it in the final sector, just to let you know.
Okay, Konzo coming up to the finish line now. It's only a 26.5, but that's enough for 4th place. Okay, who else have we got out there? Let's see, Lefty Hardtail. He's going on for a second lap, 22.9 Sector 1. What are we looking at for the fastest Sector 1 times at the moment, guys?
22.3 from Hybrid Nuke.
Okay, and Sector 2 times?
Also 43 from Hybrid Nuke, and then fastest final is 22.3 from Mystic Joker.
Okay. Well, keep an eye on...
Not much longer though. Hybrid just went pole, 24.9. He lost 6 tenths on his own first sector though.
Well, you know what? Oh, I was going to say Mystic Joker may have gone for another lap, but he's decided not to. Konzo, though, he's gone a little quicker in Sector 1 on his own time. He's now done a 22.698. Let's see if we could... Sorry, I couldn't hear about the first sector comment then.
That's quicker than the first sector time from the provisional poll, man.
Okay, Sector 2, a 40.6. It sounds like he's using very, very low revs here in Monaco. It's not surprising in these conditions. And the drivers that have gone for a second lap have been able to improve on the first lap for the most part. So, I think he has improved, but not enough. DSZ man, he's out on his first flying lap by the looks of it. Could be his second, actually, it is. And he's made a mistake down at the harbour chicane. Rickster, I think, has just clipped the barrier at the entrance to the tunnel. Yep, he's on an in-lap. Dave the Harp, he's currently sitting in at 10th place at the moment. Sector 1 time for 23.0. I'm trying to look if it's oh, he's just clipped the barrier. Oh, he managed to avoid running wide into Tabak's exit curb there. Exit barrier even, my apologies. I'm just trying to have a look, see if it's getting wetter. Or drying up a little bit. It doesn't look like it's drying up at all, to be honest. The rain's still falling quite hard. So Dave the Harp then, is he going to be able to improve on his current 10th place position? Yes, he is, 7th. And Ant69 has retired. I wonder if that's into the barrier for damage. Rickster is starting a flying lap, is he? RDB, his session is over. So with 10 minutes to go, there's two drivers that are not going to be able to set a lap time. Rickster is on another flyer.
RDB was terminal damage, but Ant wasn't.
Okay, so unfortunate for RDB then. And he did say, keeping his wing intact hasn't been a problem.
Well, I've just quickly looked to see where it was. He's done it on the exit of the tunnel. He's just stopped at the exit of the tunnel.
Oh, I wonder if he's had a bit of a tank slapper on the kink in the tunnel. I mean, obviously it does go from a little bit dry to damp again. And it could be maybe he's hit the brakes and ended up in the barrier. Rickster coming through the tunnel now. He's got a Haas ahead of him. No, it's not. It's a Ferrari. My apologies. I think I might need glasses now. Rickster's Sector 1 time, 22.6. Ooh, clipping the barrier. You want to get close to him here in Monaco. Don't hit him too hard because the barriers are unforgiving. It's a 41.3 Sector 2. It's not overly quick through there at the moment. See how he gets on in the final sector. Is there anybody, any of the front runners out on track again? We've got yellow flags in the final couple of corners. I think somebody's had a bit of a spin there. Let's see how Rickster gets on. He's currently 11th place. Is he going to improve? He does. He goes 6th.
We have Hindle and Konzo, I believe, on a lap. Yep, Konzo's on a lap. Not particularly quick though. He has gone second, so he has gone on for a third lap.
Okay. Tony, you got any information for us? Anyone you're watching that's looking good or looking a little treacherous out there?
No, they are doing okay. I think haven't seen anything special right now.
No, you're just pleased that it's wet. Oh, tell you what.
Yeah.
Well, 22.3 in the first sector, purple at the moment.
Okay.
I'll continue watching it while watching it.
Yeah, I'll come to him in a moment because Hindle's done a 40.3 Sector 2. He's 22.7 Sector 1 though. Let's see if he's going to improve his overall. He goes 3rd place. So let's find Mystic Joker. As you said, 22.3 Sector 1. That's a good Sector 1 time. If you can... he realised he was hitting that barrier. He had to turn out of it, turn back in. That'll cost him a little bit of lap time, but it may be lap time he could afford to sacrifice. It's still a 39.9 Sector 2. He's really pushing this car around this Monaco circuit. He has got a car ahead of him, but he'll be hoping it's far enough ahead to not impede him in any way, shape or form, and they peel off into the pits. So into the final corner then. A lot of understeer in these conditions. This could be pole position. And it is a 24.865.
We have a question in a chat that how people can join the league.
Okay, to join the league, all you got to do is find Front Row Racing on Facebook. I will attach a link to the description after the event, or click on one of our other videos. There'll be a link in there. But yeah, find Front Row Racing on Facebook. It's the main picture is still, I think, a picture of the Silverstone wing. And yeah, just drop us a message and we will ask you a few questions, set up your driver profile and get you involved in... Go on, Tem, what you got for us?
Hindle will put in some good sectors, potentially pole setting pace, and he's hit the walk the final corner and did a little half speed, lap over.
He may be able to go on for another one. Lefty hardtail, 22.7 at the moment. Yeah, just so in addition to...
That destroyed his vehicle in a turn to the tunnel.
Ooh.
Senna did exactly the same as well.
It's easy to do down there as lefty hardtail now comes through to back. But yeah, just to add on to oh, lefty hardtail! Oh, if you don't lose a wheel there, I'll be surprised. He may be stuck. There you go. There's reverse. Yeah, 3-point turn in effect. He'll be gutted to have found that on camera or got that on camera. He may have just had a car coming at him as well. Let's see, DSC man, he's on an out lap. It was Millstar that just came past the stranded lefty hardtail. So Millstar's sector 1 and sector 2 not too shabby. Car coming out of the pits he's had to avoid. He's currently in 5th place. Okay, it's Rick's.
A lot of emphasis on that.
Yep. Okay, Dave the Harp, he's on his way out of the pits. Jason starting a flying lap here at Monaco. He's been nicknamed Mr. Monaco because he has been pretty good around here, but he's in the barrier straight away. No damage, but definitely a bit of understeer. He's now going to be cautious through Casino Square. Is he going to avoid the bump? Yes, he does.
You've cursed him, so all I'm saying, Eraser, have him, is your mate.
Eraser cursed him before we came live. Just nobody knows it. Okay, so 23.3 for Jason, and I think a big part of that lap time has been lost up at Casino. Oh, clip the barrier! Oh, he may just have got away with that one. That will not be filling Jason with a lot of confidence as his car's understeering a lot. Taking a tight line in, a lot of locking use. Slow through the harbour chicane, car staying well out of the way for him. Into to back, you don't want understeer here. He hasn't got it, he has got a touch of oversteer though, manages to avoid doing what lefty hardtail did. Now into the second part of the swimming pool, quite nicely through there, only 2 corners to go now. He's currently sat in 12th place, and if he can improve a little bit on his lap time, he could find himself jumping up quite a bit as well. So up to the line he goes, and it's 9th place.
And Hybrid just set purple sector 1, so if anyone want to watch, might be him again.
Yeah, well, we're on board with him. I still want to just touch on as well, adding on to the person that asked about how do you join the league. This is the Front Row Racing World Series, and yesterday we had the Front Row Racing World Championship. There are also secondary divisions, which is the World Championship Reserves and the World Series Reserves. So new drivers, when they apply, they're able to go into the reserve events as Hybrid Nuke clips the barrier. And again, yeah, they're able to go into the reserve events and show what they're capable of doing, learn how Front Row Racing works, and then if any of the World Championship or World Series drivers need a reserve driver for an event, they can call on any of the reserve drivers. And Hybrid Nuke pole position 24.8, and not looking like he's going, no, not by much, but it looks like he's going for another lap here.
I did see him put the wall quite a few times out of that, so this time,
Let's see what he does in sector 1 here. Is he up? It's another 22.3, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mystic Joker, Hindle and a few others are all out on track as well.
Yeah, Mr. Joker just started one, Hans on an out lap, and Hindle's just about to start one.
Okay, you can keep an eye on Mystic Joker's and Hindle's sector 1 times, and we'll see how they're getting on as Hybrid Nuke comes down to, it's known as the Nouvelle Chicane. I like to call it the Harbour Chicane.
We lost it.
Ooh. Where's he done that, Tony?
in sector 3, I think he's spinning now.
Yeah, you're right.
Donuts.
The second part of the swimming pool chicane, as Hybrid Nuke has just come through there. I tell you what, the Hybrid Nuke is 3 temps down in sector 2.
Yes, Z-Man or Z-Man done a 22.4 on the first, and Mr. Joker's also done a 22.3. And Hindle's also done a 22.3. So 3 guys that are putting some pretty decent sector times. The Z-Man 25.5, that's in 5th. We'll be happy with that. Let me find Mystic Joker for you.
Well, I'm on board with Mystic Joker. He's done a 40.1 sector 2, which is 2 temps off his best. Let's see, across the line, takes pole position with a phenomenal sector 3 time.
Hindle might snatch it back. He's in final sector now. Good first and second sector.
Just to let you know as well, I was flicking through, Hybrid Nuke has done a 22.2 sector 1. He's gone for another lap. So Hindle through the final corner then. He's done a 39.9 sector 2. That's a good sector 2. Can he improve on sector 3? Get himself front row of the grid? He does. It's second place. Hybrid Nuke, if he can improve on his sector 2 a little bit, he may be able to get himself back onto the second row or the first row of the grid. Coming through the swimming pool, he always had to have a little bit of a lift there.
Good sector 2 though.
It is. It's a 39.9. He's still bouncing. Yeah, I was going to say, he's still bouncing off a few barriers, showing that perhaps the rear of the car's very slippery. This could be a good final sector. He's even into the wall, down towards the pit lane, and he hasn't taken pole position. Mystic Joker is still holding on to it at the moment.
I think that's his last sector, letting down a bit there.
Yep. Now, Konzo, I mean, it's saying he's in 4th place, and on my screen it's showing him as being 1/10 off pole position at the moment. I'm not sure if that's entirely correct. DSC man back into the pits now. Lefty Hardtail about to cross the line from 7th place, stays 7th place.
We have a question in the chat that are we doing Xbox One leaks, and is the damage on simulation? It doesn't look like it.
No, damage is set on full, because if it was on simulation, so is that his Hindle just taken pole?
Hindle just taken pole, yep.
Also missed his lap, unfortunately, but Dave the Harp's about to cross the line. Sitting in 12th, moves himself in to 10th. So Hindle stealing pole position. I'm not sure if Mystic Joker is going to be able to complete a lap that he is on. Let's have a look. No, he's in the pits.
Finish that.
Second place. So yeah, a Mercedes, petrol pumpers Mercedes front row. It's fantastic news for them. Jason, he's now back into the pits as well, and he won't let me ride on board with anybody else. Okay, to answer those couple of questions, there isn't an Xbox League in front row racing at the moment. And considering the problems I've seen Xbox One have with F1 2016, I'm not sure I'd be tempted to fire one up on there, but there we go. And damage, yeah, damage is on full, not simulation at the moment, but it is something that for future seasons could be increased. Well, an interesting qualifying session there. I mean, it all changed about right at the end with Hindle and Konzo locking out the front row of the grid, and that around this circuit could be absolutely crucial for either of those guys' races.
Well, will we see Konzo being a gentleman as it would be, let his teammate go and back the whole grid up?
Well, maybe, but I'm not so sure. I mean, Hindle, when I spoke to him before the race, I asked him how much he had dreaded in the start of the race, and he said if he's on pole, which isn't likely, I won't be dreading it. So he is on pole position, so he won't be dreading it. Konzo, I asked if he could match the result from the last event, where I believe he finishes in 2nd place, and he said he's hoping for a dry race and a good running qualifying. Front row is a must. This race, I am already quite far behind in the championship. Okay, qualifying order is on the screen. Temp, if you would like to, in a moment, take us through the qualifying order, and then I will jump out and come back in for the formation lap.
Alright, so on pole we have Hindle, 24.5. With Konzo also in 24.5 in the other Mercedes in second. Mystic Joker in third, 24.6. Probably a little bit disappointed with that. Hybrid in fourth, 24.6 as well. Another 10th and a half, and he puts himself on pole, so we won't be happy. But then we've got a big gap down to fifth, DSC man, with 25.5. Rickster in sixth, 25.8. Seventh, Lefty Hardtail. Eighth, the Razor's mate Jason. Ninth, Millstars. 10th, Dave the Half. 11th, Farfburn on 27.2. 12th, from Racing GP on 27.3. 13th, and that's everyone.
Okay.
I think RDP didn't set a lap time, and he is behind DP in a grid.
He is, yes. So he will have to be cautious at the start of the race. Obviously, be aware of the broadcast team. We'll do the questions of the day. Temp, I'll let you ask your question again, and then I'll do the proper question of the day as well. And obviously, just a quick reminder to let me know once the formation lap is underway, and I can get back in. So, Temp, fire away with your question of the day.
So, I had a few people asking me this question. So, Dave, it's definitely a question for you, as I say. Am I, TempFear, FRO admin?
No, you're the race director, aren't you?
Don't start that. It is raining at the start of this race. It is in sweet conditions, and DB's wheels spinning quite a lot there on my screen. But we have now we've started formation lap, so you can join.
Okay, I shall come back in. No, it's surprising how quick rumours can build and grow. I mean, I know last season, it was either last season or the season before, there was a rumour that I specifically started if it gained any traction, and that was that the Williams was OP. It gained traction, and some people believed it, but there we go.
Mainly because you and Kev are always winning in it. You don't really help yourself there.
Well, that's why we did it, you see. We basically made out that, it's because the Williams was OP. Okay, so formation lap is underway. So TempFear's asked his question of the day, and I can't remember if he mentioned it, but there is only a few people that would know the proper answer to that, and we'll give the answer to that later on. But the proper question of the day, I think, is quite an interesting one. How many cars were there in the Formula One race that had the most starters in that race? So how many cars were on the grid for the F1 race that had the most amount of F1 cars starting the race? Simple question. If you think you know the answer or want to have a guess at the answer, don't use Google, just have a guess. It's just for fun. Post your answers in the YouTube comments as the Mercedes pairing bring all of the drivers up to the start finish here at Monaco for the Front Row Racing World Series Round 6 on F1 2016 on PS4. And I tell you what, these Mercedes drivers, they need a good start to this race. If they can have a clean start, they could effectively run away with it. The difficulty for Konzo is if he's stuck behind his teammate, he's not really going to be able to attack him. But the joy for Hindle is if it's his teammate behind him, Mystic Joker is further back. And that is what he will be focusing on. So as the drivers form up at the back of the grid, who will try and get on board again with Hindle. There we go. Change the camera. 5 lights. Out they go. They're away. It doesn't look like Konzo's had the best of starts. Mystic Joker's had a pretty good one. Konzo's going to have to try and hold that second place. I don't think he can though. Mystic Joker side by side with him on the run up to the hill, and Konzo's just clipped the barrier but manages to sneak ahead as Hindle runs off up into the lead into Casino. The DSC man now up to 4th place as well. But that'll frustrate Mystic Joker. Hybrid Nuke, though, he's now down in 6th as Toro Rosso of Millstar just behind him is coming under pressure from Lefty Hardtail. As they come down to the Lowe's hairpin for the first time of 39 attempts I say attempts because not all of them might make it to 39. All so far actually look like they've got through cleanly, haven't they, guys?
Yeah, no one was at the back doing slow, but I did notice Ant let the whole field go past him, so he's definitely thinking about the long game.
Rickster, retired from the set. I'm wondering if that's a terminal damage DNF. It is on the exit of the tunnel. I've seen a car up there. Oh dear for Rickster. That's disaster. That's huge disaster.
No complaints available about my rain dances, sorry.
Yeah, they can't blame you. But what does make this interesting though is if it's going to dry up later on, what tyres are people going to use later on? Because they can use any tyre. The compound regulations effectively go out of the window. So a very interesting situation because you got someone, the likes of Mystic Joker, currently sitting in third place behind Konzo, knowing that the person he really wants to beat is the guy that's leading the race. And a way he may be able to sort of battle for that lead is through strategy and through pit stops. Oh, Hindle's had a bit of a messy Mirabeau 1. That's allowed Konzo to close the gap up, but as we know, it's difficult to overtake here. The problem is you make the tiniest bit of a mistake and you're going to come under a lot of pressure. So into the tunnel they go.
Just to quickly let you know, Rickster's terminal damage had a collision with Millstars, so might be an investigation there. And DSC man in his first permanent race, currently running in fourth, so showing him what he's got. It's not backing out of this.
No, I mean I'm sure there'll be a reason why From Racing GP has picked him. He has tried him out as a reserve for a couple of races, and I've probably just cursed him, so let's get ready for a terminal damage DNF. Apologies, DSC man, on that one. But as you said, he is running in fourth place at the moment, not too far behind Mystic Joker, but he's had a little bit of a messy Harbisher game, and he's got Hybrid Nuke right behind him. Oh, I tell you what though, I've just seen the Mystic Joker's really close to the back of Konzo. Or at least he was mid-corner. He's dropped off a little bit now on the straight as Konzo sets a new fastest lap of the race.
I have new information about Rickster. He said in the chat that his controller died.
Oh! I tell you what, if there's a well, if there's a guy that has bad luck at Monaco, it's Rickster. Because, I mean, I won't go into his past races at Monaco, but yeah, he does have bad luck here. DSC man coming under more and more pressure from Hybrid Nuke right now. And I tell you what, for Hybrid Nuke, he must be sensing that if he can get past DSC man, he's got half a chance of catching up to the pack at the front. Trying to have a quick look, see if Mystic Joker's close enough to attack. He's not.
In qualifying, it was he was part of the top three. He made it a top four, and everyone else was over a second slower. So he's lost out at start, and this is really hurting him.
Yep, definitely is. Now, Dave the Harp, I think he started 12th. He's now running in 10th place. He's got his teammate Jason behind him, and then From Racing GP in 11th, yeah, 11th place, my apologies there. RDB starting from the back of the grid now, running in 12th position. And Ant69, as you said, looked like he allowed a lot of cars through at the start. I think he's playing the very safe game.
He pitted this lap.
So maybe might have been a bit of damage for him then.
Ooh, Hunter went very wide at the top of the hill. I think he may have just been able to keep it out of the wall, not get any damage. That was a hairy moment for him there. Mr. Joker must have followed him saying that.
There's nothing wrong with being hairy. Oh, I tell you what, DSC man, not avoiding the bump, going straight over it, which in these conditions could get a little bit tricky. But obviously he's wanted to take as straight a line as possible. But Hybrid Nuke still right behind him and possibly being held up because Millstar is beginning to close in on these two. Okay, so 4 laps into the race. Have we got any battles kicking off anywhere, guys?
I think it's people stuck behind people if it is.
Well, that's Monaco for you, as all of us know. Catching up's one thing, passing is another. I tell you what, there is beginning to be a little bit of a racing line up here. I'm not going to say it's getting anywhere near a dry racing line because it really, really is not. But there is a racing line beginning to appear, so we could end up in a situation where drivers go searching for water. The problem is, you go searching for water around here, it tends to be where the barriers are.
We have a 3-car train in leading by Dave the Harp in 9th place.
So Razor, can I ask you how you know that's a 3-car train? Is it because you're best friends in it?
Because I have watched Jason driving all the race, and that's why I know. Are you happy now?
Jason, if you need legal advice on how to get a restraining order, just let us know. I'll tell you what though, GP's looking a little bit racy behind Jason, and for GP, I mean, he did commentary on the World Championship Reserves last week here at Monaco, where Jason was racing in the no assist event there, and he saw firsthand how well Jason was defending around this circuit, so he knows it will not be easy to get past Jason here. I mean, he's very good at positioning his car.
It seems like the rain stopped.
It has in the tunnel.
Yeah, it has stopped.
Oh, I tell you what, I mean, that's a key moment, you know, a real key moment, I think, as well. Lefty hardtail all over the back of Millstar as well, and you're right, guys, it has stopped raining. Obviously, though, the circuit's still damp. Now, Temp, Tony's obviously going to be wishing that it's going to keep raining, but having driven in these conditions, having driven on this circuit, at what point do you think the guys are going to be thinking, right, it's time to pit? Because if you get that call wrong, your race is over.
I think, well, this track, you're going to want to probably stay out. That extra lap of 2 minutes could actually give you, allow you to overcut the guy who is directly ahead of you. You know, they might have to take it easy and try not to hit a wall. And another thing is, might we see a situation that happened in the real F1 race around here this year, where someone stays out and enters on a relatively dry track just to try and, for example, get an ultra soft stint in.
Possibly. I mean, it's weighing that risk, isn't it? Intermediates, slippery on a dry track, or drying track, or slick tyres on a damp track. It's a tough call to make, but I don't think any one of the 3 drivers up at the front are going to want to make that call or make it wrong. But I think if Mystic Joker wants to try and win this race, I think he has to try it. I think he's either got to try the undercut or he's got to stay out much longer, like you said. But I can't see Hindle pitting until it's absolutely necessary.
Well, the track's drying up very quickly saying that, because I wouldn't really say there's an obvious racing line anymore. I think the whole track's kind of the same in terms of how wet it is.
True. We're still seeing a bit of spray coming off the tyres as Hybrid Nuke is still stuck behind DSC Man, and in the background Lefty Hardtail still stuck behind Millstar, and I'm sure Tony's watching Jason stuck behind Dave the Harp, and GP stuck behind him.
I'm not going to bother watching Jason. I've soon realised.
Jason isn't stuck. There is no car in front of him.
Oh, where's Dave the Harp gone then? Dave the Harp's pitted. He's gone for super soft tyres, and I tell you what, he's been followed by Front Row Racing GP. This could get tricky.
Yeah, they are the first ones to do that. Let's see if they are right.
Oh, big understeer. I tell you what though, if they've got it right, they will gain bucket loads of time. I mean, you mentioned in qualifying, Temp, about the qualifying time on inters around about the 25s. Well, qualifying time on the dries would have been around about the 12s. So if these guys have called this right, they could be undercutting a number of cars. If they've got it wrong, they could be undercutting a barrier.
I'll have a look
the
at
spray is pretty small right now. Almost none spray coming from the back of the cars.
I tell you what, looking at these guys, I mean, it looks a little slippery out there as Dave nearly clips the barrier. It's looking slippery, but I don't think they've necessarily got the call wrong.
I mean, they're slipping and sliding on the inters as well as they're overheating, and they can't really push it. They would like a Congo goes very wide.
Farpa is speeding the softs.
Okay, I'm watching DSC Man at the moment because his car is sliding about a lot as he goes defensive into Mirabeau. So these guys on inters, their tyres are beginning to slide about quite a lot as DSC Man is having to go defensive, and that's just going to slow him down a little bit more. Oh, it's interesting. Oh, I tell you what, Konzo, he's left the session. That's the disconnection. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's his race over. That's huge, huge, huge disappointment for Konzo. That's absolutely buzzing for Mystic Joker. For Hindle, though, his rear gunner's gone. I think Hindle now needs to get it into the pit lane. Avoid any possibility of an undercut.
I'm quickly looking at... He's going to the pits, though. I'm not sure about that. If I was Mystic Joker, I'd stay out.
He's followed him in.
I don't know, I was looking at the centre times of the guys who have pit for slicks, and they're not looking, they're a bit slower than their laps on the inters. Saying that, they may have, GP's just equal his best first sector almost, so it might be time.
Well, Hindle is going to...
There is traffic in the pits.
Okay, well, Hindle's going to...
Hindle's gone for a set of softs, but Mystic Joker's gone for a set of ultra softs.
So do we think Mystic Joker can't get to the end? He can't do 30 laps on ultra soft tyres.
No.
That's got to be... He's doing two ultra soft stints here, isn't he?
Yeah.
Whereas Hindle...
I said he couldn't do like 10 laps on super softs at Australia, and he did it, so I had my own words there, but round here 30 laps, no.
No, I tell you what though, Hindle, 30 laps on the soft tyres, that's doable.
I think super softs, I don't think they'll make it. I think they'll be a bit too worn out by the end.
Okay, DSC Man, he's pitted and put on a set of soft compound tyres. Hybrid Nuke, he's in 5th place and he's not on softs, he's on ultra softs. Oh, it is also almost into the barrier. Farfba, let's see, he's on a set of... Is it soft tyres? I don't know, it's hard to tell. They look white. And there are no white wall tyres. It is soft tyres. Millstar, he's on ultra softs right behind him. Dave the Harp, he's up to 8th place with his undercut. GP's now 9th place with his undercut. They're on super soft tyres though. I think they may have to stop again. Lefty hard tail. Oh, Ferrari spinning. That's Jason into the barrier at the harbour chicane.
Razor's now crying. Why'd you do that to him?
He's still got his front wing attached though, by the looks of it, so he's doing all right. Okay, so Hindle's retaken the lead of this race because Lefty Hardtail has pitted as Farfba posts a new fastest lap of the race. So, guys, going to need you to keep an eye on that battle, which will be for 3rd place as GP now posts a new fastest lap of the race. But to be honest, I expect these lap times to just absolutely tumble now down to somewhere around about the 15s, 16s. So the main battle we've got is a different strategy up at the front. Hindle shouldn't have to pit again. Mystic Joker probably should have to pit again. In 3rd place we've got DSC Man, who's got Hybrid Nuke, and Hybrid Nuke probably will have to pit again. So for Mystic... Oh, Hindle! Oh, Hindle's race is over! He's into the barrier! Oh, absolute disaster for both Mercedes drivers!
If last race was great for Mercedes and bad for Manor, I think this will be disasters to Mercedes.
Yeah.
Both drivers out.
It is, and not only that, Hindle hit the barrier so hard it's affected the audio, so now the cars aren't sounding right, which is really awful. But Mystic Joker takes the lead of this race. He will have another pit stop to do, so what he's now got to be careful of is DSC Man, who's in 2nd place, who probably won't need to make another pit stop, but he's already 17 seconds off the lead, so I think he's going to struggle to fight for the lead. But this does help Hybrid Nuke, who... Well, he could try attacking DSC Man early on and trying to get past and opening up a gap to get his pit window, or he could play it patient and attack him later in the race when DSC Man's tyres are really knackered.
I think we're going to have one angry Scotsman and one angry Englishman.
Oh, yes. Definitely. Oh, I'll tell you what, Millstar, he's piling a lot of pressure on the back of Farfber now. Different compound of tyres. And I tell you what, if you want to know... Oh, Farfber into the barrier. I was going to say, if you want to know what it's like to start going old and a little bit deaf, this is what it sounds like. It's all muffled. Not from experience, I'm not that old yet. Although I have got grey hairs in my beard. Millstar having a look into the harbour chicane. Decides not to go for the move. Oh, nearly went for it on the exit of the corner though. And couldn't do much about it as Mystic Joker now posts a 1:16 lap time. Just have a quick look. Dave the Harp. Oh, Dave the Harp, GP and Lefty Hardtail. These guys very, very close together. And I believe Lefty Hard... Oh, GP having a look into the second part of the chicane. Not quite going to work there.
Millstars and Farfber are very, very close together. Farfber on the softs and Millstars on the ultra soft. DRS looking kind of inside or outside? No, too far back.
But Hybrid Nuke is still behind these Z-Man. Still behind him. He's been all race.
Well, it will be frustrating him. And, I mean, as you mentioned... Temp, and you mentioned, Tony, about the last race being good for Mercedes. I mean, it definitely isn't here in Monaco. No points scored, which means that if Mystic Joker finishes in the position he's in at the moment, he'll retake the lead in the championship. And also for the Yankin Limey Manor team, it's going to be a phenomenal situation in the constructors. As I tell you what, Millstar's close enough here through the tunnel to potentially attack into the chicane. He's looking for it, but he hasn't quite got the straight line speed.
It'll be we're back to round 4 for the top 2 of the drivers. Same gap again if they finish series now.
Well, I mean, I remember, thinking back to DSC man, he's got Hybrid Nuke so close to the rear end that if he if he's not aware, we go Hybrid Nuke with DRS is being sent to the outside of turn 1. Or a little bit of contact maybe, but they both make it round the corner. Hybrid. The thing is, I think I could imagine Hybrid Nuke getting frustrated here in this situation now, but really...
Millstar was going for a move around the outside of turn 1 on far back. He's shut the door on a little bit there in a polite manner. So, and that Millstar will have to regroup and he was close to getting a good run for Casino on him. Oh, it was a bit wide for the second part. Kind of negated any attack down his middle there.
I tell you what, these two, Farfber and Millstar, they may be closing in a little bit on Hybrid Nuke, which is perhaps why Hybrid Nuke is wanting to get a shift on. He may be in position to attack, is he? No, he's not. He's not going to be able to do it yet. But yeah, it's a tricky situation for Hybrid Nuke because, yes, he wants to get past, but part of me would say just play it that little bit cautious, apply the pressure, let the guy ahead make the mistake, attack him later on when you've already destroyed his tyres for him. It'll be a lot easier to overtake then. But the difficulty for Hybrid Nuke is if the cars behind are catching both of them up, he could find himself coming under attack.
And I feel bad for Hybrid Nuke. I think he's been a faster driver and he's on a faster tyres, but he can't use those because he's got
to run here. There's contact between them. DSC men clipped the barrier then. Sorry to cut you off there, Tony. There was a little bit of touch between them. But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, Hybrid Nuke is on a faster tyre, but he can't use those to his advantage if he can't pass him. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, he's going to have to make another pit stop, and obviously he'll be looking and curious about where he may feed out. Let's see, he's 26 seconds off the lead at the moment, and you're looking at about, 19 seconds for a pit stop, so, he's got a good run on DSZ man here, looking into back. It's not an easy place to overtake, and he's backed out of it. But yeah, so you're looking probably, 47 seconds. Let's have a quick look. Oh, Hybrid's just giving him a little bit of a nudge. Okay, if he was to pit now, he'd come out on track right ahead of Jason and behind the battle of Lefty Hardtail, Dave the Harp. Where's Front Row Racing GP gone?
He's done it now. Hybrid Nuke has done it. He's on second place now.
Okay, apologies for that. I missed the overtake there, unfortunately. So he's managed to get through with DRS into turn 1. question is he going to be able to catch up to Mystic Joker? He's 28 seconds behind. You know what? I wouldn't even bother trying because, well, they've both got to stop again. It's a 30-second gap with, what, 15... No, 24 laps to go. It'd have to be over a second faster for every lap of the race. I'm not sure that'd happen unless Mystic Joker lifts off the pace and takes it a little bit easier. So DSC Man down to third place now. Farfba running in fourth place with Millstar all over the back of him, still on opposite compounds of tyres.
I've been watching this for a few laps and it's just taunting Millstar, I think. It's just... got that superior grip, and even if he drops behind like he has now, he'll close right back up, but there's nowhere for him to go once he does.
Yep, I mean, mentioned it during the World Championship Reserves race that to overtake around here, you kind of need to spend most of the laps setting the driver ahead of you up for an overtake either into or out of turn one. Because if you don't really set them up for there, it's not going to be easy to pass unless mistakes are made.
Lefty Hardtail is trying to get past Dave the Harp.
Okay, I'll have a quick look at that. I am curious what happened to Front Row Racing GP. I'm not sure if he had damage, but he's obviously dropped out of this battle. He was right behind Dave the Harp, but he's now not. If one of you could just check and see if he's perhaps gone to a different tyre compound, because he was on the super soft tyre. Or Lefty Hardtail just gives Dave Harper a little bit of a nudge there, trying to get a little bit of a move on. But I mean, to be honest, if I was Mystic Joker, I'd probably be saying to Lefty Hardtail, don't be in a rush, mate. Do not be in a rush. We're scoring more points than Mercedes. So, yeah, just take your time. You'll finish where you finish, and that's good enough for here in Monaco. Millstar, though, he's still stuck there right behind Farfba, and he could be for some time. Farfba can make the car very, very wide, perhaps make curbs very wide as well, but yeah, Millstar still stuck, and I can imagine that Hybrid Nuke has already opened up the gap on DSZ Man quite rapidly, which is what would happen if Millstar could manage to get ahead. I'll tell you what, Temp, if you want to have a quick look. Oh, Millstar's got a good run here, has he? He had a very good entry speed into turn one, but no space to pass. Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to just have a look at both Farfba and Millstar's pre-race comments and run us through them, he's still looking for it. Is he going to go for it, Mirabone? No, he's not.
Right, so Farfba, we asked him, is there a driver he's aiming to beat? And his reply was, well, it's Monaco, we all know it's going to be mayhem. I'm aiming to beat myself, as there is no point aiming to beat a driver as you don't know who the Wolves of Monaco will take their next victim. I'm aiming to beat the commentary team if you need a target. That's a very typical Farfba comment.
Oh, yeah.
Jason is catching up for Dave the Harp and Lefty Hardtail.
Jesus Christ, these sponsors will be getting a load of money from you.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, you got Lefty Hardtail stuck behind Dave the Arp, and it is allowing Jason to catch up. Okay, Temp, Millstar's pre-race comments, if you will.
We asked him how much you dread in the start of the race, and his answer was he's going to bring the soft tyres, 112 in time trials, big here, and if I get a high enough position, defending should be okay, and I'll do a one-stop bar in incident. So by the looks of that, he's got a fair amount of pace, just... Again, it's tucked up behind that bust of a Force India, shall we say.
Okay. Tony, you've been watching this battle between Dave the Harp and Lefty Hardtail that's allowing Jason to catch up, so I was just wondering if you want to run us through Dave the Harp and Lefty's pre-race comments.
Oh no, I don't have those open, please no.
Please don't. I'll let you off the hook then. Dave the Arp, I asked him if he's had any issues with setting his car up for this race. He said, car feels okay on setup, just going to try and get to the end, hope drivers behave themselves. Well, so far I'd say they've behaved themselves, and I mean, most people got through most of lap one unscathed, which is has been really, really good here for the World Series drivers in Monaco. Unfortunate for Richter that his steering wheel came off. Oh, I tell you what, Milstar, he's still looking for that overtake. I'll quickly try and cover Lefty Hardtail's pre-race comments. Because Jason is now right on the back of him. He's really on the back of him. Lefty Hardtail, simply I just asked him if he's got any thoughts for this round. He said, not really looking forward to this one, as there isn't much of a rest between corners at a track that requires ultimate respect at all times. Praying for a dry race, hope to get some decent points. Good luck to everyone. And I tell you what, he's in the middle of an absolutely epic battle at the moment. He's got to run.
I think that Dave the Harp train is catching the Milstars and Sparta, I think
you're right, you know, because they're not that far ahead. You're right, they are. They're closing that gap in quite rapidly, which could potentially make things very, very, very interesting. Jason's pre-race comments, obviously nicknamed Mr. Monaco. I asked him if he feels he has the pace to get on the podium. Well, I tell you what, Lefty Hardtail's got a good run on Dave the Harp here through the tunnel, almost side by side, but Dave the Harp's got slightly better top speed. Could be the advantage of the tyres, and Lefty Hardtail can't attack, and he's having to make sure he's not going to be attacked by Jason either. But yeah, Jason's pre-race comments, he said, a start without incident and 100% concentration will be the racer's strategy. The speed will not take me to the podium, but with the right strategy and a little luck I might get there. I will bring the balanced tyres. Well, everybody brought Inters, and I tell you what, it's getting a little bit sunnier out there. And Dave the Harp's peeled off into the pits, and that's going to free up Lefty Hardtail to go and attack Milstar, who is still stuck behind Farfba, and this will be absolutely killing Farfba's tyres. I'll tell you what though, Tony, if you want to have a quick look at if Hybrid Nuke is closing that gap in to Mystic Joker, the gap was 28 seconds when I last looked, so if you could check on that one. And
now it's 33.
So Mystic Joker opening up the gap at the front. I'll tell you what though, I'd be tempted to ask Konzo and Hindle how their emotions are from their events in this race, but at the same time, I don't think I'd risk putting a microphone anywhere near them because...
Well, I'll put it simple for you. You know how we were at Spain? Yeah, just think of the complete opposite.
Yeah. Well, very, very frustrating situation. I tell you what, Milstar's dropped off the back now of Farfba.
Hybrid Nuke defeated for Super Softs.
Okay, so Hybrid Nuke was not on those ultra soft tyres for very long, was he?
No, I think Milstar might go up the pit soon. I think he's knackered his tyres.
I tell you what though, Hybrid Nuke, he's potentially going to come out right in the middle of traffic. He is. Is he going to be behind Lefty Hardtail and Jason? He might be. Lefty Hardtail's got a better speed up the hill, but no, he's behind him. But Hybrid Nuke right in the middle of a battle that really you don't want to be in.
This is going to be very interesting.
Well, Milstar, who has been the attacker for most of the race, he's now going to be attacked. So his attention is now going to be in his mirrors rather than on the car ahead. And if his tyres are beginning to go off, like Hybrid Nuke's perhaps were, then yeah, it could be in a really difficult situation. Hybrid Nuke's got a good run into the tunnel. He's right up his gearbox. He's so close to him. You could probably push him down the hill, but you don't want to do that. He's having a look up the inside. Milstar covers it off quite nicely and takes a tight line through the corner to cover off any kind of attack down towards Tabac.
This is very interesting. We have 5 cars in a span of few seconds, I think. Train of cars here.
Yep, and the train is being caused by Farf, but Milstar peeling off into the pits. I'm not surprised by that. It's maybe a good call by him. That's going to free up Hybrid Nuke now to attack Farfba, but as we've seen, Farfba's been pretty well defending his position on the track, keeping Milstar behind him for many, many laps.
This is an overtake Hybrid has to make. Oh, the pool's gone very wide.
Tony, could you have a quick look to see where Dave the Harp is on track, and if Milstar has lost ground on him, and if they're perhaps anywhere near Front Row Racing GP, who pitted much earlier on?
the Harp is on 7th place. What was the
where Millstar? See where Millstar is. Or Hybrid Nuke. He's having a look. He's gone for a bit of a switchback. He's got the racing line down to the Harbour chicane, but Farfberg covers it off quite nicely.
Millstar is right behind GP in 9th place.
Okay, so GP perhaps jumped to position then, but this is getting very, very interesting down through the swimming pool. 4 cars within a second and a half. I think Hybrid Nuke may have just had a little touch of a barrier. They've got a ghosted car to navigate as well. This is a proper tense situation for these drivers.
The Hybrid needs to make a move. He's got the fresh. Oh, he's
going for it. He's going for it. He's got it. He's already got the move done down into turn 1.
Let it through there.
Oh, so Farfberg now got the train of Lefty Hardtail behind him. Now that may have cost Hybrid Nuke a little bit of time on DSC Man. Let's see, DSC Man 38 seconds from the leader. GP's race is over. But yeah, if DSC Man was to pit now, he would potentially come out ahead of Hybrid Nuke.
That was a thermal damage for GP, just to let you know.
Oh dear, but we know it can happen around here in Monaco. It's Farfberg. I think he's just gone into the barrier. He hit the wall, I think. That's compromised him through the tunnel. Lefty Hardtail might have a fantastic run on him. No, he's having a look though, but not able to make the move. No, he's spun it. Lefty Hardtail's clipped the barrier and spun it. Oh dear, that's going to allow Jason, Mr. Barriers, to sneak up into 5th place. But I've got a feeling that Farfberg has got a pit stop to make, you know. I don't think he's stopped yet.
He has.
Has he?
Into the softs.
True. Okay. Good point. Or I think GP's race may have ended at Anthony Nogues. There is a bit of a wheel hub down there. Okay, so you're right. Yeah, Farfberg possibly then doesn't have to stop again.
He pitted in lap 7.
Okay, lap 7. Yeah, could be done at 32 laps.
It's going to be very. It's going to be very kind on those tyres in the later stages.
Well, this will be the thing for DSC Man as well. I mean, I mentioned if he pitted now, we could come out ahead of Hybrid Nuke. And let's see, with the amount of laps that are left, 15 laps, he could pit and put Ultra Softs on. But if he loses any time to Hybrid Nuke, then that opportunity goes, and he'll just have to hope that his tyres can last. As Jason has got a good run now on Farfberg through the tunnel. On the exit of the tunnel, what's he going to be able to do? He's already seen Lefty Hardtail try the move and end up spinning himself. Jason avoids that, but Lefty Hardtail, even though he has spun it, he's now right onto the back of this one again.
Just to quickly tell you, DSC Man has pitted.
Ooh, has he gone Ultra Softs?
He's out ahead of Hybrid, he's on Super Softs. They're on the same tyre and he's got 3 or 4 second gap to him, so
yep,
he's put himself right in play for this 2nd place.
That's a fantastic call, that is, for the McLaren team to get him to pit. What it will allow now is Mystic Joker, if he wants to pit, he can. He's effectively got a free pit stop. DSE Man's got RDB. No, it won't be RDB. Oh, actually, it is RDB ahead of him, but he's now behind him. Blue flag situation, he's led him through. So, yeah, let's see. DSE Man, 30... Yeah, I thought he might. The only risk for Mystic Joker making a pit stop when he doesn't necessarily need to, well, actually, no, he did need to, didn't he? He was running the Ultra Soft tyre, had to pit again. So, yeah, but I mean, if he was able to go to the end and having that sort of free pit window, the risk is that you take that free pit stop and then get yourself a bit of damage and have to stop again. So battles to keep an eye out for is Hybrid Nuke trying to catch DSC Man. Jason is now ahead of Farfberg. I think
Farfberg pitted for Super Hosts.
Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on where Farfberg comes back out on track. But that moves Jason up into 4th position with Millstar behind him on a set of tyres that could take him to the end. Jason, I'm not sure if he'll be able to get to the end. So let's see. Dave the Harp He's now running in 6th place, and it is a little frustrating that Hindle's crash into the barrier has ruined the audio and the sound of the cars, especially on a day where I turned the volume of the engines up a little bit as well. But there we go.
It's only you that's got that audio glitch. I've had a little message from the Racing GP. He said that he was getting blue flags for the car behind him, but it was for position, not a lap down. He let the car pass to get no penalty or to get disqualified, and he got bumped into the wall. So he won't be very happy about that. That's he wasn't happy after Spain, so we might hear what he has to say later on.
Yep. Well, horrible situation that, but a situation that's quite interesting is Farfbert 7th place, Millstar 8th place, RDB. No, it's not RDB. That's Mystic Joker behind them. This, I tell you what, this could be Millstar's opportunity. Millstar needs to latch onto the back of Mystic Joker here, and when Farfber has to let Mystic Joker through, that's when Millstar needs to pounce, and he needs to do it now, but he's not been quick enough. That's well played by Farfber, that is. Millstar, you've missed an opportunity there, my friend. Unfortunate. And I tell you what, Millstar and Farfber, they're now on the same compound of tyre, so any tyre advantage that Millstar had earlier on is just gone. It's completely gone. I think he's going to find it even harder to try and overtake now. Yeah,
he's on. Farfber's got the fresher tyres, and well, Millstar, he's going to be able to design that force the interview design's closed.
Yep. I want to quickly mention as well, Ant69, he played it potentially safe at the start and he's running round in the final points position at the moment. So his Monaco strategy is working for him. Let's see, DSC Man and Hybrid Nuke. What's the gap between them? It's still, well, it's 3 seconds now, so Hybrid Nuke is pushing, perhaps sensing a good result here. Tricky one though, I mean, catching him, as we say a lot, or I say a lot, catching him's one thing, passing him is something completely different, but if he wants any chance to second place, the only way to do it is to try and apply some pressure to DSC Man.
David Hart might be slowly falling back to Millstar's apart. He's just had to let Mystic Joker pass. He lost quite a lot of time there, so I don't think he'll be happy about that, but not much he could have done.
I think you might mean...
About Dave the Hart.
You're right, yeah. Apologies, yeah, it is Dave the Hart.
That's okay. I can't even commentate on that.
Well, Millstar is trying to attack. It's not quite working for him, though. He is trying. I mean,
let's just say I saw them inside each other.
Oh dear, not a good view. Well, I mean, Millstar, he will... Oh, Dave, the Harpy session is over. He's into the barrier. It's a terminal damage. His race is over. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. What would have been a fantastic result. And DSC, man!
DSC, man, he's out terminal damage as well.
Oh, it's all kicking off here in Monaco. Hybrid Nuke can take it easy now. Did you see what happened to DSC, man there, Tony?
Yeah, he hit the left side wall in the turn where he is, so he slammed it pretty hard and the car didn't handle it quite well.
You know what that's done? Jason, he's sitting in 3rd place at the moment.
Ah, no.
Yeah, I know, I didn't say anything.
Lefty Hardtail's not that far behind him, but I think Jason has been pulling away from him. So Jason looking good at the moment. The closest battle on track, I still believe, is Farfber and Millstar.
Yeah. Should I tell you who would have a smile on their face after that lap?
Go on then.
It would be Ant. It's in 10th, but he's going to move up to 8 for those 2 terminal damage incidents. So he's scoring 4 points at the moment, and as long as he keeps out of the wall, and if anyone else does put it in the wall, he's going to score more points. So his strategy has paid off. He's got more points than Hindle.
Yeah, we have eight cars running.
Yeah, well, I mean, Monaco, it is a high attrition circuit. I mean, you've got more chance of less cars finishing here than any other circuit, that's for sure. And with the drivers, obviously different strategies, different tyre types, different setups, all that kind of different pressures on them. I mean, yeah, it can so easily happen. Around here, one momentary lapse of concentration and your race can be over. Or even, I mean, I've known it happen before. Drivers get used to driving on a set of worn tyres. Or Milstar's got a good opportunity here. Not quite able to do it. He's still all over the back of Farfba though. Yeah, I've seen drivers do it before where they get used to driving on a worn set of tyres. They make a pit stop and it's just that momentary... I'll give it a good example of it. Moment of forgetfulness that the brand new tyres have got extra grip, so they turn in for a corner thinking, I haven't got much grip on these tyres, because it's what they've been doing for the last 15 laps, but the car turns in and into the barrier they go.
I think it was the same if Milstar against Fast Farfba. He's been sitting behind him that long. He's that used to the turbulent air and the slipstream. He's getting down the straight, so he's braking a bit earlier and whatnot. He's going to get ahead and he's just going to... like, oh, what's this? Don't know what it feels like.
Yep. Well, for Mystic Joker, though, I mean, I don't think this race could have gone any better for him. I mean, Hindle out of this race, Konzo out of this race, both McLarens out of this race. Yeah, his teammate in the points as well. I mean, championships can turn on a needle point, and this could be one of those needle points. But even though this race is going to go in the favour, potentially, of Yank and Limey Manor, it doesn't mean that at another race it could flick again. I mean, we could easily...
Effectively last race.
Yeah.
Last it was Mercedes having the party and Manor leaving their heads in shame, but they swapped over this race, so... it's kind of negated any advantages that either team did gain.
Yep. Oh, Mystic Joker looking very, very comfortable at the moment. I wouldn't say that he's... Go on.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Jason's tires can last to the end. He pitted for super softs in lap 8. So, is it enough?
It depends on whether he did super soft and pitted for another set of super softs, or if he's still on the same set of tyres. I mean,
I think he's insane. I didn't see any pit stops there. So yeah.
I tell you, if you have a look on the race directory, we'll tell you exactly how many pit stops. If he's only done the one stop, or you know what, then Tony, I think you might be right. His tyres may start to suffer right about now. Lefty Hardtail is now just ahead of his teammate. He's going to be getting waved blue flags any moment now, but this could actually help Lefty Hardtail because Jason is ahead of Lefty and Jason is going to have to get out of the way for Mystic Joker.
Well, I think Lefty's tyres are gone just as much as Jason, but he is on those harder tyres, so he's less likely to get a puncture. But we do know Jason, he's a soft man on his tyres, so
he is.
If there's anyone you want to put your money on, it's him.
He does look after them. Okay, still the closest battle on track, Farfba and Milstar, which is going to absolutely do Milstar's head in, to be honest, I think. I tell you what though, Temp, while we're in a little bit of a lull before we get to the end of the race, I just want to just thinking if we can cover a few of the drivers' pre-race comments. So if you want to run through a couple, and I'll shout at you if Milstar goes for the move.
I believe we've done the Lefty actually, so I wouldn't say his. I'll go with Van actually, having a good race. So we asked him, do you think you can match the result from the last event? He said he's going to bring the balanced set of tyres. He's 2 years he's played Formula 1 and he's never finished Monaco. Don't like it, can't do it, hate it. Merry Xmas everyone and ho ho ho. So at the moment he's doing very well, and I think there's a comment actually on there.
Oh, Milstar! Sorry, Milstar spun it. Is he going to lose a position? I'm not sure. He's managed to avoid losing his wing. I tell you what, Farfber had a little bit of a moment through the final 2 corners out to Raskas. May have put Milkstar off a little bit. It's lost him quite a lot of time. I think he's going to be safe from attack from behind, though. Yes, he is.
But yeah, going on to back what I said, I think there's a comment on there for you to read to me by the looks of what's in it. If you know which one that is.
Oh, I think, you know what? I think you might be right. Would it be from Row Racing GP's pre-race comments by any chance?
Yeah, it's always the guy who's awkward.
Yeah, unfortunately for Row Racing GP, no longer in this race. And I asked him how is the relationship between himself and his new teammate, and he said, I want to welcome DSC Man to the team, and I believe this could be a great partnership to start scoring some points for the team. This evening I'll be using balanced tyres. Aim is to qualify high up the grid as possible. It's Dodgems for 39 laps, or as we call it, bumper cars. If I'm lucky, I will complete the race, hopefully somewhere near the podium. Just need luck to change. P.S. Send my hugs and kisses to Temp. I'm not kissing him. I'm really not kissing him. But yeah, I mean,
that's the relationship between me and him.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Tommy's new teammate?
Well, Mystic Joker has just managed to get himself ahead of Jason now. Jason's had to move out of the way for a blue flag situation. So, I mean, Mystic Joker is on such a flyer at the moment that the only person he hasn't lapped is Hybrid Nuke. And I'm trying to think back to the World Series race at Monaco last season, and I'm pretty sure that Hindle was in a similar situation where he pretty much lapped nearly the whole field. Let's see, how far is Hybrid Nuke? I mean, Hybrid Nuke's 56 seconds off the lead, but I mean, once you're in a situation where the guy ahead is pulling away, yeah, you just make sure that you get to the end.
If anything, he might wait up just enough so that he does get laps. There's one less lap.
I tell you what, we've got cooking. Lefty Hardtail in 4th place. He's got Farfber in 5th place, closing in on him. So Farfber's been under a pressure for most of this race, but he's going to have half a chance in the final few laps to try and steal another position here off...
that's not Farfber, it's his teammate.
Oh, well, that's just boring.
I was gonna say, I looked at that gap, I was like, that's pretty big. Is he taking like 3/6 a lap out of him?
Farfber is only just going down the start-finish straight now, so it was RDB. So it looks like the field has got very, very spread out at this point.
I think the most interesting thing that could happen would be to watch Jason's 4 tyres and see if one of them goes pop.
Yeah, I was just saying it's the same thing. It's a ticking time bomb, those tires. It can go any minute.
Well, keep a close eye on those guys. I've got the camera on Mystic Joker at the moment because he's not been seen for most of this race, and unfortunately for Hindle, when he had his crash, it did just free up Mystic Joker to do what he wants. And I have a feeling that Hindle's not going to be sending an invite out to Mystic Joker to come and join him for a drink on the boat. I wouldn't be surprised if Hindle's boat is being sunk in the harbour right now. DSC Man's pre-race comments. I just want to cover those because obviously it is his first race as a permanent driver in the World Series. And I asked him, with it being your first permanent drive, has this increased or decreased pressure? He said he's excited to begin scoring points as a full-time driver. He said he planned on doing 21 to 23 laps on super soft tyres and the rest of the way on ultra softs. Obviously, wet weather at the start got in the way of that one. He said he believes that Monaco in particular dictates your strategy more than you being able to determine your strategy. So we'll see how he goes. He also said that at Monaco he feels that the pressure is off a little bit because anything can happen. So you just have to take it all as it comes and see where you end up at the end. Well, unfortunately, both McLaren drivers are they're in the garage or drowning their sorrows in a bar. But at the same time, for DSC Man, I suppose he could sit there and say, well, I still got a little bit further than my teammate in this race.
Well, what it wasn't it? He was having a good race, good lap times, good position. You know, you can take a lot from this being his first race. To me, look at his comments there. That's a good approach he's got. Not put any pressure on himself. See where it takes him. Bit of a learning curve. Come back to Canada in the new year and show what he's made of.
Yeah, okay, Mystic Joker is about to start lap 38 to 39, and I believe his pre-race comments are the only ones left. So, Temp, if you want to just quickly take us through those, and then we'll focus on what Tony's looking at for the last lap of a bit.
You know exactly what he's looking at.
Yep.
Right. So we asked Mystic, is the track you like or dislike? And he asked the one stuff is definitely easy to do, so going with the softest compound or softest set of tyres. Enjoy Monaco a lot. It's more about surviving it more than anything else, which he has done, unlike his rivals. Sorry to remind people, but he needs a good points finish to stay in the championship and not to make it easy for Hindle like he had in Spain. And, well, again, Hindle's no longer racing. And saying that, I was on board with Mystic when Hindle did hit the wall. He done well to avoid him.
Yeah. Well, could have easily been collected up in that one. So Mystic Joker not far off, starting the final lap of the race. Hybrid Nuke running in second place, and I don't think he'll be overly pleased with the gap between himself and the leader, but I think he'll be pleased with the position that he finds himself in. So he's...
Lefty Hardtail has a puncture, front left.
You're right, Lefty Hardtail does have a puncture, and he's on the soft compound tyres. That's the hardest compound of tyres.
Let's go. He's fast.
Is Lefty Hardtail going to lose more positions? Yes, he is, because Millstar's coming through the tunnel now. Jason, let's see, starting lap 38 it's showing, so he's still got a couple of laps to go. So yeah, that's because Mystic Joker has lapped everybody, so as they cross the line they will be on their final laps of the race. So I mean, for Mystic Joker, I mean, it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, picking a driver of the day out of this one though is not going to be easy, because yes, Mystic Joker's done well, but at the same time he had two Mercs ahead of him that are no longer in the race. It kind of gifted to him, but at the same time you've got someone like Ant69 who's never finished in Monaco before, but is potentially about to finish in 8th unless he too can get past Lefty Hardtail.
I don't think he will. He's too many laps down.
I will quickly touch on question of the day again, so if you want to have a go at answering this one, folks, post it in the YouTube comments. How many cars started an F1 race that had the most cars on the grid? So how many cars started the race of an F1 race that started with the most amount of cars on the grid? Mystic Joker weaving as he crosses the line. Fully deserved victory here in Monaco. 25 points going to him. He'll be absolutely delighted with that result. I mean, couldn't have asked for anything more, really. I mean, Canada, I think Canada's going to be a whole different ball game, you know. Hybrid Nuke running in second place. He's got about half a lap to do before he gets there. But yeah, I mean, for Mystic Joker, absolute elation. For Hybrid Nuke, I think he'll be happy enough with it. But yeah, I'll quickly do that question of the day again, because I was keeping an eye on where Mr. Joker was. So, question of the day. How many cars started the F1 race that had the most amount of F1 cars start the race? Feel free to have your guesses, and we'll pop the answer out during the podium interviews. Okay, so Hybrid Nuke, only a couple of corners to go before he takes his second place. Obviously, all results are provisional until the drivers have had a chance to place any reports that they want to place. But Hybrid Nuke is delighted with that finishing position, as he should be. And Jason, everybody else a lap or more down. Jason also delighted with that result. Just a reminder, guys, you can take a screenshot of the result for us, please. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Interesting race, definitely.
Very. I think, again, two Mercedes crashing out. It's got to be the story of the race, really, there. For a lockout and qualifying. Comes to the race. Well, I say two crashing out. One crashed out, one disconnection.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what would be worse in that situation. The disconnection, I mean, you kind of sit there and go, well, there was nothing I could do. Frustrating, nothing you could do. I think I think Hindle may be a little more frustrated.
Yeah, I think looking at it from, like I said, when I was on board with Mystic Joker, I think what he may have done is turned in slightly too early to that swimming pool section, clipped the inside, and it's pushed him wide, and he's then hit the wall on the right hand side. I think that's what may have happened, but you could also look at the fact of that wouldn't have happened if Konzos didn't disconnect, because he would still been backing up Mystic Joker, arguably.
Yep, quite possibly.
So they're going to have to come back strong next race.
Yeah.
Did you forget to mention the other question of the day?
We did. Go on, Tempo, I'll let you mention your other question of the day.
So, again, I've had many people asking me this question. So, again, more for Dave. Am I TempFear an FRR admin?
Well, I'll answer that one now for you. No.
Well, there you go, everyone.
Yeah.
We have a question from Stocky that how does he get to host World Series if he's not?
Okay, he doesn't get to host World Series. He's only hosts the lobby because we make sure that the broadcaster isn't host. So he's being used. He's being used.
Yeah,
he's not an admin.
He was waiting for you to say that exact word.
Yeah.
He was waiting for you. And now I'm going to start another rumour. Maybe I'm undercover.
I don't want to even start that. Right, Tony, if you could invite the podium drivers in, please, and we'll crack on with questions for the podium drivers. And if you do have any questions that you want us to put forward for the drivers, then feel free to put at FRR, and Tony can put those questions to the drivers. I mean, Monaco's an interesting race. I mean, I'm not surprised we end up with a limited number of finishers. It's kind of expected around Monaco. It's a real tough race. It's a real tough track, and it is unforgiving. It's completely unforgiving. The next race, though, in Canada, that's a whole different ball game. I mean, okay, there's a few walls you can end up in, but it is a completely different ball game. High speed, not necessarily high tyre wear, but the World Championship World Series races aren't going to be until the first week in January, so the guys have got quite a bit of time to get their practice in for that race, depending on how much they drink over Christmas and New Year. I believe all of our podium drivers are now in with us. I've got to say well done to all three of you. Mystic Joker, an interesting race. I can imagine there's quite a lot of relief to a degree in that one. Qualifying in very tricky conditions. I'm guessing a bit frustrated with a Mercedes lockout and being stuck behind them. So my question really would be, were you waiting, once the race had started, were you waiting for the track to dry enough to go for an undercut? And what were your thoughts when you saw that both Mercedes ended up out of the race?
Oh man, I felt like throwing a party when that happened. So I mean, quali, like you said, it was really tricky conditions, and I was trying to push to the max in the sectors, but it was just so tough that I kind of had to take a little bit more conservative, and I ended up P3. It was kind of frustrating to see that the Mercedes lockout, and I knew it was going to be tough. I didn't know if Konzo was going to, at the start of the race, if Konzo was going to just hold me up, let Hindle, build a gap, and then go from there. But, yeah, so right at the start of the race, I was just pretty much trying to stay with them. Sometimes I needed to up my pace, just a little bit, give Konzo a reminder that I was still there. But, yeah, I was mainly waiting for the track to dry up and just try to go for the undercut. I knew it was going to be pretty tough. Overtaking in Monaco is not really that easy. So overtaking two cars, without any contact or anything would have been really tough. And I needed a good points finish. So seeing both of those guys crash or disconnect or whatever, I saw Hindle crash. That was just a huge relief, especially that I missed last week's, or not last week's, but
The last race,
2 weeks ago. Yeah, the last race. I needed that big time. And then, especially now that both of those guys are out, they didn't get no points here, definitely help out in the constructors for us as well.
Okay, I've got one more question I'll hand over to my commentary team. when it did dry up, you went for the ultra soft. That pretty much dictated you'd need to stop again. How much of a gamble was that? Because by the look of the tyres the other guys went for, or at least Hindle went for, you potentially would have had to have passed him at least once and then pit again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. I messed up right there. My game plan was to go on the softs, and when that incident happened with Conzo, or not incident, but because we were going through the tunnel, and I seen his car kind of start slowing down, and it threw me off a bit. I didn't know what was going on, so I tried to dive down the inside, and that almost could have went really bad, but. So he left, and that just kind of threw me off, and I wasn't able to change it over to the softs, which at that point when I went into the ultras, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be tough, because I'm gonna have to pass Shindo, and then from there I'm gonna have to get a pretty big gap on him, and then do it all over again later on. So It was kind of a blessing, but yeah.
Okay, hand over to TempFear and Razor 21. If you've got any questions for Mystic Joker, fire away.
Right, I'm going to ask. So, after you got past both Mercedes as they had their issues, did you then slow down, back out of it, take it easy, or did you try and keep pushing, keep your focus, so that you wouldn't have like a lapse and put it in a wall or something? So, did you try and keep on that same focus in like those rail lines, if anything?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I did. I could have taken it easy, but no, just every lap I was pushing and just trying to stay that focus, because if you lose any bit of focus or you think you're safe, and next thing you know, you clip something or you end up in the barrier. So yeah, I think that pretty much showed it from the huge gap that I had.
Alright, so you got anything?
No, because Temp nicked my question. So no.
Okay, well, we'll probably come back to you in a few moments' time, Mystic, so don't go anywhere just yet. We'll move on to Hybrid Nuke. Second place, well done. I'm just trying to remember where you qualified, because I know in the early stages of qualifying you were fourth. You were fighting for pole position. I mean, your laps times were looking good until those sneaky three got their final laps in. But I noticed that sort of halfway or part way around the first lap, you'd ended up down in sixth place. So I'm just wondering what happened at the start and how difficult the initial fight back was.
Yeah, the lights went out. I got a good start and then got a little bit of wheel spin. Started to cover off DZ, and then he was committed to the inside. So I thought, well, I'm staying the hell away from you. Went all the way around, and then Rickster came up as well, and then started flying up. Got to the tunnel. And because of the formation lap, I started sliding straight towards the tunnel. So I thought, all right, I'm not going to do that this lap. Lifted off. Rickster just ploughed straight into the tunnel. He was retired. I went, woo, and carried on with the race.
Well, unfortunately for Rickster, he said his controller died.
That is big.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate for him. Okay, so at least that explains how the start of the race went. I've just seen as well, we've lost a Razor from the chat party, but you should be able to get back in if he needs to. Okay, now I've lost the chat party. Apologies, folks. Bear with us a moment, because I've lost the chat party. Give me a second. Let's see if I can get back into the commentary box. I'm still here. We're still live. So apologies for that. Just bear with us a second. It came up with a network error, a kick from the chat party.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So I was asking, or trying to ask Hybrid Nuke, Obviously, once the opening laps had played their part, was it you were challenging DSC man? I believe you were closing in on him, but then you went with a strategy which kind of you went for, I believe, super soft tyres and then ultra soft tyres at the end.
Ultra softs and super softs. Yeah.
Ultra soft and super soft. My apologies. Was it always the plan to go with the ultra soft tyre on that first stop and then see if you could use another set of ultra softs, or whether you were going to always go to the super softs again? Okay, it looks like the PSN is having an absolute hissy fit at the moment, which is really, really annoying. You can try, yeah. If you nip back into the chat party and ask them to come into the game chat, we'll try and continue on in here. Although Eraser is no longer in the lobby, so he can always come back in, so we can cover some of the YouTube comments and questions. Apologies about this, folks. Not a lot we can do when PSN decides it's going to play musical chairs with a party chat while we're trying to do some interviews, but there we go, the joys of it. I will quickly mention the question of the day again. Okay, how many cars started the F1 race that had the most cars start in that race? Quite a simple question, really. So yeah, if you think you know the answer to that one, mention it in the comments, and if we can actually get to speak to Eraser again, we will try and do that. Quite possibly. Okay, I'm going to try and carry on interviewing Hybrid Nuke, though. We will get through this, hopefully before the chipping near me closes, because I'm starving. Okay, so yeah, Hybrid, you went with a strategy that it kind of gave you an opportunity to sort of double attack DSE man while you were on the initial ultra soft tyre, but it looked like it was difficult to get past. He was defending quite well. So the changes, going for the super soft tyre wasn't necessarily a bad call, but do you think coming out into that whole bundle of traffic potentially cost you any real chance of catching DSC man? But in the end, your thoughts when you realised you didn't have to?
There was no real thought into the strategy. It came up, here's a strategy. I went, alright, cool. And then I got held up in the pit. And I thought, oh my gosh. Gave it my all to catch up. I think there was a point where I got an excellent run out of turn one. Decided I had to go for it. You know, I've been stuck behind his growling McLaren for the past however many laps, and it was annoying. So I went for it. He kind of closed me off. We bounced off each other, bounced off the walls either side, and we both went, let's not do that. Crashed out.
Well, there's a party for those who finished, and there's also a Monaco Crashers Anonymous party going on as well. But I've heard the cake isn't as nice in there. So anyway, a second place result. I mean, I mentioned during commentary, perhaps not overly pleased with the gap between yourself and Mystic Joker, but pleased with finishing second place.
Yeah, that was, as soon as I noticed it was second place, I didn't drive at the same level. I took it a step down, made sure I stayed in focus, saw that the gap was getting bigger. I was like, dude, you go ahead. If you want to crash, I'll have
Okay. TempFear and Eraser, any questions for Hybrid Nuke?
I'm trying to think. What do I ask him? Was you well, actually no. This is my question actually. Are you happy that you finished ahead of Hindle here since with what happened last season? I'm not saying necessarily at Monaco, but are you happy to have beaten him?
Yeah, I mean it's slightly unfortunate the way it ended. I'd like to have gone side by side with him and earned it, but I can't take a finish above him any day. And plus finishing in good points that I'm ecstatic with, you know.
Right. And quickly, Dave, can we let Eraser have the opening question to Jason, please?
Of course we can. Okay, Eraser, Jason's all yours.
Well, Jason, how was your race? You finished third, so how you feel right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling happy with the race. Not like I told you.
So you didn't lost any bronze wings, I'm correct? That was pretty clean race for you.
No incident. Only one. So.
That's great. I have Temp or DP, any questions?
I want to know why he's not sat there giving it, woohoo, come on!
Razor's got his Swedish pants on or whatever they wear. But what was it that you had on Razor that we found out in China?
Yep, I think that was...
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. Sorry, go on, Temp.
I was going to ask Jason a question. So we saw Leslie Hardtail get a puncture on the soft tyres, but you only did the one spot from into the super softs. And well, we know your tyre wear is good, but was you surprised yourself that you managed to get to the end on the super softs without a puncture?
Yeah, I was. My plan was to go to the super top, but dry out very early.
Yeah.
So I gambled with the super top.
Well, that's why you're called Mr. Monaco, as it would be.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to touch on a couple of things. Jason, your teammate pitted before you did. Did he tell you it's ready for the super soft for slicks?
Not what I heard.
Oh.
I saw the screen.
Oh. Okay. Well, in your front row racing career, your two best results have come at exactly the same track, Monaco. So a huge congratulations to you. Hopefully you can keep that form going into the future as well, because I mean there was a part of that race where you were sort of much further down the grid with Dave the Hart, with from a racing GP, and there was always someone or something happening around you until sort of the latter stages of the race. So very well done for... Oh, yes. But yeah, very well done. Fantastic result. Okay, Eraser, have we got any questions from YouTube for the drivers?
There are many, but Toki asked Mystic that how sweet it is to last the whole field, but you didn't last the whole field, but almost. Yeah. So how almost. Did it feel?
I was pretty surprised, but you know, I was pretty happy with it. You know, that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Yeah, humble is good.
For all three, will you use the Christmas pause to just relax or train hard for the Canada?
I'm gonna party all the way through. Best finish so far.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna join in on that party.
And Jason?
You can come as well. Come on.
He's so he's already opened a bottle of vodka. That's what it is. He's celebrated in style. But yeah, okay. Eraser, any more?
Question for hybrid for Sparta. Was there any orders for Sparta to let you through?
That is the thing. I did come up behind him. We're in the same party, and he was kind enough to let me by. Now I don't know if I said, "How do you feel about letting me pass?" or I thought that. So we came up with a plan to let me pass, which was not that easy, because the first suggestion was in the tunnel, and then that was kiboshed. And we tried to go down that straight.
Okay, I'm going to move on to finishing off the question of the day then, I'll give it to the podium drivers to have a guess of this one. How many cars started an F1 race that had the most cars starting the race?
Those brains are ticking.
29 from hybrid.
No, it's got to be an even number, isn't it? So,
Okay.
Who's going to actually even?
I'm gonna go with 31.
Oh, sneaky. Jason.
45.
That's an interesting shout. It's an interesting shout. Temp and Eraser gave their guesses earlier, I think, or Eraser.
Oh, yeah, that's something quickly.
Go on then.
I have
Is it in the low 40s?
I'm not saying anything yet because Eraser's just said he's not had a go.
Someone's cheated.
Eraser, what's your guess?
I think it's 26.
26, an interesting guess. Now, I'm guessing, well, I'm hoping we've had a few attempted guesses on the YouTube channel, and I'll tell you what, anyone that said 34 would be correct. Yeah. 34. It was in 1953 at the German Grand Prix. So it was a long time ago, but yeah, the most cars started an F1 race was 34, and obviously that would have been well, in that era, more than likely a few of them didn't leave the previous circuit, unfortunately. It's just the way it was, but in those days, yeah. But there we go. Or because it was in Germany, probably a lot of the cars were Mercedes and Porsche, but there we go. Okay, so we're going to bring things to an end there. So guys, very well done here in Monaco. There is now a winter break for the World Championship and the World Series. The World Championship will be back on the first Wednesday in January, and the World Series will be back on the first Thursday in January. However, next Wednesday and Thursday we have the World Championship reserves and the World Series reserves from Canada. A whole different ball game to here in Monaco, but still a couple of wolves you can lose a wheel on. So very well done to all of the drivers. Thank you very much to the commentary team, TempFear and Eraser21. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. We'll join you next Wednesday and Thursday, hopefully, for the broadcast there. Have a great Christmas. This has been from a Racing World Series. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Happy holidays, everyone.